We're back to the Neil Haley Show, and I'm with best-selling author Mary Shearer Eckert. Mary, got to be excited. Wounded Sisters, best-selling author, and we have another good topic today.
Well, I wanted to talk about today about my writing journey
Mhm.
and use it as an encouragement for other people who would like to write. Um, I started writing when I was very young. I loved to read, and I started writing, making up stories when I was just maybe 8 or 9 years old. And when I used to babysit as a teenager, I would tell stories. And there was one time in the fifth grade that I wanted to be in a play and I didn't get chosen for the play. So I told my teacher, my fifth grade teacher, I said, well, I'm going to write my own. And she said, go ahead. And I did. And she liked it so much, she let me be the writer, the producer, and the director of that play. Of course, I got the starring role because it was my play, but we got to put it on for the third, fourth, and fifth grades.
Nice.
And I just love that. And I've loved plays ever since. But I used to sit around and sing to myself, and I would write poetry. I loved poetry. And I was constantly reading, Neil. I was always reading. And mother and daddy, because we usually lived out in the country, and anytime they went into town, this is back in the early 60s, anytime they went into town, they dropped me off at the library. And I would stay in the library till they got through shopping and doing what they had to do. And some of my favorite books back then were Nancy Drew Mysteries, and I loved anything by Mark Twain. And just a good writer has got to be an avid reader. And you need to read all kinds of different things and find out what clicks with you. And I loved mysteries and real life people, books that had a lot of conversation in them, because I'm a believer that conversation is what moves the book. Conversation in real life is about relationships. You cannot have a relationship with anybody without conversation. And so my book is full of conversation. That's what moves the story along. And so I encourage people to read a lot, listen to conversation, and just engage themselves with people and other writers. I belonged to a writing group in Fredericksburg for many, many, many years. And that was so helpful to be able to read to out loud what you've written, to be critiqued, to be talked to be led to other places, other venues where you could learn. And I did not go to college to be a writer. I went to college to be a nurse. But I self-taught myself by reading a lot of books on writing and going to workshops and everything. And the best advice I ever got was write what you know. And I love the writing of Rawlings and of the Harry Potter series, the fantasy of all that, but that's not me. And I love the Chronicles of Narnia by C.S. Lewis, but that's not me. You read all kinds of different things and then you find what is you. And I wanted to write about experiences in my life that might turn around and help others, because I love to help women. I love to mentor women out of my past experiences myself and what I have learned. And so writing what you know, and don't flatline your writing. Always have a voice, have a action, have feelings, express feelings, because that's what you do in real life.
Right.
Don't just flatline it. And and use humor. I mean, because the world is full of humor. I don't want to read a book that sits down and it's just one bad thing after another, one unhappy thing after another. And when I was several years ago, I taught at a Christian school, and it was just a volunteer position. And I taught a second through the fourth grade creative writing. They didn't get a grade for it, but they came in and we sat down and we played with our imagination. And we did one thing that's called a round robin. One person started the story, and we just went around in a circle until we came to the end. And everybody added to it. They had more fun, Neil, just using their imagination. And children these days need to get outside and use their imagination. And that is the beginning of learning to write. is using your imagination. So,
And then the creativeness that you have in your stories, the visualization as we're creating a AI trailer, movie trailer, and then soon a movie short. That seeing these characters come to life, that's a
yeah,
lot of creativity to know
yeah.
exactly what they look like, visualize. And you said that creative writing course helped you do that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Just learning how to put, paint. I like to tell people, paint a picture with your words. Paint a picture with your words and express your feelings so readers can feel the reality behind the written word. You have to express your feelings in your words so your readers can feel that too. They want to feel that to draw them in to your story and to keep them there. And that is so important. And I love mysteries, and I always have a little bit of mystery in my books, just a little bit. And it makes people wonder, well, what's going to happen next? And that keeps them turning the page. You always want to leave them turning the page and trying to find out what happens next. Well, there's going to be a sequel to Wounded Sisters, and y'all are in for a big
The people that
surprise.
read the first book, at the end, there's a surprise, and you're wanting more.
Yep, it's going to happen.
How many books do you have to do on this series?
I think I'm thinking the next one will be the end. It's just going to be two. But I don't know, Neil. Once I start writing, things start happening, characters start popping up all over the place, and the book starts writing itself. So I have no idea. I'm into it right now, and things are happening that I don't know until I get right smack dab in the middle of it where it's going to lead. It might lead to another one or it might not.
You don't know what God wants next.
No, I don't. And one of the things about my writing is when I tell people when I go to a book signing, "Oh, you're such a great writer," I don't want to hear that. I want them to say that story really blessed my life, and
Yes.
I have heard that, and that means a lot to me because without the Lord, none of this would have happened. None of this writing would have happened because He was with me every step of the way of my life, and I came from a functioning dysfunctional family. And so I used
Yeah.
a lot of the things in my own life. And as a as a child, as a young woman getting married, a divorce, all kinds of things that happen around me, being a nurse. So the Lord has led me through a lot of trials and tribulations, so to speak, but I can take those trials and tribulations and I can put them down in words to help other people to see that you don't have to stay stuck there. You can, everybody has a story. Everybody has a story. Everybody has their own journey through this life. And maybe they don't want to write, but they can take their journey, they can take their stories, they can take those and reach out to other people and say, this is where I was, but with God's help, this is where I am. And that is the foundation of my writing.
No, no doubt. And that's the part of it. And you put the time in. You put the time and effort to get there and wrote. It took a long time to write this book, and you're working on the second one.
Yes, it won't
Uh,
take near as long on the second one because I
That's
have
what.
all the same characters.
All right, awesome. So go to maryshearereckert.com. You can purchase the book there. Write a 5-star Amazon review. I appreciate it, Mary, and look forward to talking to you again.
All right, thank
All
you.
right, you're listening and watching the Neil Haley Show. We'll be back in just a moment.